Welcome back to the We Them Brothers podcast.
I don't like your energy. Bring your energy. It's a whole new year.
We coming back from the new year, or we coming back to the new year from the holidays. We had to take a break. Of course, if you forgot, which I know that you haven't, I'm one host. My name is Jimmy Hicks. Here's the host. His name is Anthony Rogerson.
And collectively, y'all see us. We got a whole new layout.
We got a new studio. We got some new digs here, some new decor. Shout out to artists, please.
My man Vern did this.
Yes.
I gotta tag him and give him his props. Tag was a pun because all of this is a tag. If y'all like the artwork, let us know. We'll let you know how you can get some. But as Jimmy said, this is Jimmy Hicks. I'm Anthony Rogerson. Collectively, we are Them Brothers. We got a new set. Who this?
Yes, new set. Also brand new. Like, I think this is apropos. This first episode for 2022. Apropos. Yeah, it's gonna be my goal to teach you a new
700 on the SAT.
It's gonna be my goal to teach you a new word every episode.
Yeah,
That's gonna be my new goal for 2022.
I'm apropos. About to get my apropos on. Well, go ahead.
It's quite appropriate that we have a
okay.
Yeah, I think it's French. I don't know.
All right, cool. All right, I'm with you. Turn up. That's a turn up outside.
Right. But going into 2022, you see all the new hotness, and I think this episode is really geared to like making sure that all of our viewers are getting ready for that new hotness for 2022.
Getting the new hotness, yeah. So I think what we talking about today? What we talking about? That's gonna be our drop. I'm working on that. What we talking about? So yeah, in 2022 we are. Everyone's starting their thing off, and the new year started. Everyone wants to be gun ho and getting after it. So today we're gonna talk about a few things to talk about what we're doing in our business to keep it pushing. For you guys out there that are home buyers, we're going to talk about some things that could potentially help you to get your thing going and helping you get your business rolling. And for agents, we'll talk about some things that can help you get your business going, and hopefully we can work collectively.
Yes.
And something that I just thought about, in case you guys don't know, none of this stuff is scripted, right? So we're going off the top, because I used to be a freestyle
straight
rapper
out the dome.
back in high school. I sucked. I'm probably terrible now. But in any case, as we go into the new year, one of the things that is really, really, really important, or that is going on now, is home prices and home values and prices of homes, right?
Home prices, interest rates as well.
Interest rates rising, but where are we now in January? What will folks be doing like ASAP? Their taxes. Folks are going to be doing their taxes, right?
Exactly.
And hopefully, what are you getting in return? You're getting some money back, right? So for all of you people out there who want to buy homes in 2022 and you're going to do your taxes, your tax money will be a great form of savings to help them buy their homes.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Any suggestions on how they go about that? What would you say to the people out there that are getting a little bit of refund? Claim as many dependents. Go get you a lot of dependents. Get you cousins and kids that ain't your kids.
I feel like that's like one of the what's the word? One of the taboo mysteries or misconceptions, I should say, as far as tax money. I think people like have it in their mind like, oh, the government's going to give us this money. Like, the government is only giving you the money back that you let them
that you done gave them
right, that you done gave them all year. They just give you a little bit of it back. So like don't get it twisted. Like, this is not a handout from the government. This is your money. But what is the best way to utilize your money? I think, of course, in previous episodes we've talked about like the steps it takes to get ready for the home buying process, what it takes to be able to buy a home. We talked about the three-legged stool as far as having your credit right, having the income, and having the assets. Well, your tax refund is going to go a large way towards having that asset problem solved. So a lot of people are getting a lot of tax money back, and that could be your 3.5% down on the home. Speaking of that, you only need 3.5% down to buy a home.
How much?
3.5%. So like if you're buying $100,000
I thought you needed 20. No, you need 20, right?
No.
Okay.
You don't need 20. Now, there are some things that come with putting a larger down payment down, and we can get into that in another topic. But Minimum down payments, 3.5% with FHA, which is typically the first time home buyers loan program.
And we have some programs where you can put down 3%.
Exactly.
Okay,
like if your scores are high enough and your debt to income ratio lines up to where we can go conventional, then you may be able to get away with 3%. But you don't need an absorbent amount of money to be able to put down to be able to finance a home.
For our math, what's that word you
Mathematically
used?
challenged.
What is the word you used earlier?
Apropos.
For our apropos math people, apropos don't even go with
Right.
it. I'm just using, for the rest of the day, I'm using apropos. Just, in places that it doesn't even belong, right? So for our apropos math petitions, right, that shit don't even go. It doesn't have that. Let me be clear. One has nothing to do with the other. But just follow where I'm taking you here. For our apropos math people, 3.5%. What does that mean to you in dollars and cents? So if you're buying a house that's $100,000 house, right? Those houses really don't exist, but we're gonna make this very, very basic.
For the sake of math, yeah.
That's $3,500. Okay, so let's just double that. Say you're buying a $200,000 house. That's $7,000. Okay, now again,
let's go 300.
I can't do that math that easy. No.
10,500.
That's 10,000. Apropos. Apropos.
But
apropos.
I know people personally that are getting more than $10,000 back in their taxes. So that's a 3.5% down payment on a $300,000 home.
And the other parts of that is now you just need your realtor to help you get some seller paid closing costs, right? We work with great realtors.
Yes.
Listen, all our realtor relationships, we putting you on the spot. We got some folks that got $10,000. They got tax returns. They need to buy houses. We need you to get them some seller paid closing costs. If you can't do it, we know people who can. Which you want to work with us or not? I'm fronting. I'm apropos-ing right now. I'm apropos. So no, but seriously, y'all. Like so for any of y'all that are out there that are watching this, you want to buy a house. You got some tax money coming in. You might not be getting $10,000. Let's not like. We don't want to be elitist and be like, oh, you just getting $10,000 back. Like, we understand times are hard and many people are scraping it up to get by. But you know what? Maybe if you're married and your significant other is getting $5,000 and you're getting $5,000, there's your $10,000, right? So there's ways that it can be done. So
if you got a friend that's getting some money back because another gym, a lot of people are looking at duplexes and quadplexes to go in and try to buy those. You can actually buy those with a regular FHA or conventional loan with the minimum down payment as long as you're going to live in one of the units.
As long as you're going to live in one of the units, the maximum number of units is what? Four?
Four for so FHA and conventional.
Yeah, so you can have 4 units. You're buying it. You're renting out the other 4. That's covering your mortgage. So there's things that we can work with.
Yeah.
So think about your tax returns. We not buying Gucci belts.
We're not going to Best Buy and buying TVs. And you know what?
I just bought a new TV.
But you also already have a house to put it in.
No, I don't live in apartment. The mayor of South Fulton live in Camelot on Old National. That's all I gotta say. Who am I to be above apartment? You understand? Home ownership come with too much stuff I don't want to deal with.
But not to downplay anybody. Like whatever you have planned for your tax money is what you have planned for. We're just trying to give you an alternative.
No Gucci
route.
belts.
Because a lot of the stuff that y'all buy. Or not y'all, because like
you
present company.
You say y'all, who you talking to?
That sounded elitist. I bought stuff that
racist.
I bought stuff that like white people get.
They sound racist too.
They get tax refunds.
I don't have no white friends with Gucci belts. I have a white friend that bought a helicopter.
I was about to say.
That's a whole nother.
And it was a tax write-off.
And then we can broach that subject later on. But me and Jimmy learned some stuff earlier today that had us like,
hey. All I got to do is say broaden your circle. That's all I got to say.
Broaden your circle.
Broaden your circle. Try to learn from everybody that you come in contact with.
Right.
That's all we got to say.
Right. So, tax returns is a good form of down payment for your property. Yes. Okay? You don't need to absorb all of this right now. This video is just for a resource for you. Contact us. Ask us more questions. Yes. We'll always have our information. My number is 678-359-3574. Jimmy Hicks can be reached at
870-413-0531.
Jimmy Hicks is on Instagram
at JimmyDoesHomeLoans.com. Or no, at Jimmy Does Home Loans for Instagram and Facebook. JimmyDoesHomeLoans.com is the website.
I'm on Instagram at everybody say keys everybody say keys. It's like everybody say cheese, everybody say keys. It's everybody dot say keys. That's on Instagram. So hit us up in the DM. Ask us the questions that you may have in terms of your getting money for your down payment. Yes. So that's for our home buyers out there.
And I will say, before we get off the subject of tax returns, because I know that the actually getting money back, I think that speaks more to our W-2 employees most of the time.
So you want to talk to the self-employed people?
I do want to talk to the self-employed people.
How much I need to put down so I can qualify?
Self-employed people they want to buy houses too, and we have to calculate their income differently, and that's where the tax returns, I think, get a little bit more intrusive, for lack of a better term. So for our self-employed borrowers that are planning to buy homes this year,
hold that thought, because before we go to the self-employed borrowers, I want to stick to the W-2 borrowers. Okay, but hold that thought right there.
Okay.
For our W-2 borrowers out there, okay, W-2 means you get a salary or you work hourly and you work for somebody, and then at the end of the year, your employee gives you a W-2 and they say, we paid you this.
Right.
Those are our W-2 borrowers. You are pretty much a vanilla borrower. All your stuff is kind of in black and white. When you get your taxes done, and you get your taxes done by your friend who does taxes, or you go to Jackson Hewitt, or you go to whoever does taxes.
Right.
If you do not have a side business, do not let your tax person put down on your it's called the Schedule C.
Yes.
For self-employment. So oftentimes they do a Schedule C to offset some of your gains to save you some money.
Right.
But what happens is, on that Schedule C, they say that you lost money in that business. So they say you lost $5,000. That's helping you right then and there to offset your gains and get you some money there, right? But you don't even know that they're doing that. However, it's going to hurt you when you submit your documents, if you have to, because we don't collect tax returns for W-2 employees.
Yes. If the only income that we're using is your W-2 income, then we don't need taxes. Now, you still want to be mindful of that, because if there's anything along the process that would cause the underwriter to think that you have a side business, like, for example, you have a lot of cash deposits, or you have a lot of business deposits or something going into your bank account, underwriting might see it. It's like, oh, well, this person must have a side business. This is where all these deposits are going. Let me see your taxes. And you have losses on your taxes, extra debt. Now you don't qualify for as much.
Or you're trying to get some type of down payment assistance. While we don't ask for tax returns, any down payment assistance, they're going to ask for your tax returns. We see those tax returns. There's a Schedule C on there that you didn't even know that your tax preparer put on there. They said you lost $5,000. That is now $5,000 worth of debt. Right. So for any W-2 employee that is thinking about buying a house, when you get your taxes done this year, if you don't have a side business, do not allow your tax preparer to write off a side business that doesn't exist. Yeah. One, you're lying to the government, which you deal with that. I don't.
We're not the tax police.
I am not the tax police. So. I'm not going to arrest you, but Uncle Sam will come for you. But don't do it, because it will hurt you. Now, Jimmy, going into the self-employed people, because I cut you, but I think that was important for
Yes, absolutely was. Now for the self-employed,
everything I say is important. Apropos, whatever that word is.
Not great poupon.
What is it?
Apropos.
Apropos. Don't apropos your tax returns. Mess you up. Not apropos your tax returns. I'm back.
Whatever that means.
Whatever that means. Just don't do it. Just don't do that shit.
But for the self-employed bars, as in contrast to W-2, where all we need is W-2 and pay subs, the self-employed bars, we go pretty much directly off of your tax returns. And 9 times out of 10, we have to go off of your tax returns for the last 2 years. Now, there are some instances where we can get away with using 1-year taxes, depending on what your credit score is, what your debt-to-income ratio is. There's some other factors. So I say that to say, like, going into to 2022, you're actually in an advantageous spot to where you can claim taxes in the amount to what you need in order to qualify for the home that you want. Now, obviously, like all this, so you can't just go out like, oh, well, I made $300,000 last year. Uncle Sam's coming for you if you don't have record of that $300,000. So I'm not saying you can just claim whatever, but I'm saying this would be the perfect time to actually claim your full income and possibly take the hit on whatever tax bill.
You got to take the hit. Now it's one step back to go 2 steps forward.
Exactly.
So whereas you wrote off a lot of, you typically, whether you're a barber, a stylist, whatever you do, whatever your business is, your accountant's job is to write off everything to save you some money.
Right.
This is not if you want to buy a house, you want to write off as less, or is it as least?
That's a good question.
As least as, apropos.
Why
you know
as less as
apropos, you don't know least and less.
It's less.
See, I know basic stuff that's important.
Hey, I passed this on the ACT on the English part, like language arts, all that stuff back in the day.
I didn't
so
pass
I did.
nothing.
I did what I needed to do.
I didn't pass shit.
when it needed to be
I
done.
got 700. I was almost Prop 48. I was 1 point away from being Prop 48. In any case, you want to write off as least the least amount as possible because you want to show the maximum amount of income. That is the point.
Exactly. So just to have it bare bones, let's say your business did $100,000 last year. Typically, if you're not buying a home, or if your accountant is just trying to save you money with the IRS, they would write that down as much as possible. So let's say they wrote it down between depreciation, entertainment, whatever write-offs you had, they wrote that down to $40,000. Well, now you're trying to buy a home. Of course, we've already talked about your income kind of dictates how much you qualify for. So let's say we got your credit down, you got an 800 credit score. Let's say you got 20% to put down. Cool. We have to go off of that $40,000 instead of the $100,000 that you actually made. So that's going to severely hamper how much of a home you can qualify for. Whereas let's say if you had $100,000 and they only rolled it down to like $90,000 or $80,000, then we have a little bit more income to work with. And there are also some areas that you actually can get your write-offs done in where we can count that income back for you. So you can still, depending on how, and like I said, we're not the tax police, but you also have to make it make sense for the IRS in case the actual tax police do come for you.
And don't point them over here and say Anthony and Jimmy said we ain't said nothing. I don't know.
We've given several disclaimers that would absolve us of any crime. So
no, hold on. Let me give I don't think you should lie.
No, don't lie. We're not saying lie
to the IRS.
We're not saying lie.
Hi, IRS. I don't lie. Fuck it with me.
That's kind of
I apropos.
That's like black men don't cheat. That's like black men don't cheat.
That's a whole nother. I might have apropos a few times. You understand? I might have apropos, but I ain't lying to the IRS. No, sir. It's a whole different game.
So for example, my truck drivers. You guys probably have a lot of things you can write off as far as business mileage and depreciation with your vehicle. Those are the two sections where you do your write-offs where we can count that income back in. So let's say, same example, you have $100,000, you wrote it all the way down to 40, but let's say 20,000 of that was in business mileage. Well, now we can add that 20,000 back in, and now we can count it as 60,000 in income instead of 40,000. So you still get your write-offs, and you still kind of like temper what you would have to pay to Uncle Sam while still qualifying for a little bit more as far as the mortgage is concerned.
Hey, you passed the ACT. I got nothing to add to that. Like, you know what I mean?
And also, like, as far as, like, of course, if you're watching this, then you're going to be a loyal follower, of course, to the Wheaton Brothers podcast. So we
subscribe, like, share, tell your friend to tell a friend,
all that good stuff. So we're going to have guests. We have tax professionals. We have credit repair specialists coming on, and of course our agents coming on. So we're definitely going to have professionals that'll be able to help better navigate you through some of this stuff too as we enter into 2022.
Because we're almost professionals. Almost. We're not there yet. So
it's a team.
It's a team.
Yeah. We got to build a team.
So hopefully that helps. That the giving you some ideas what to do with your tax money. You want to buy a house. We want to help you buy a house. You're going to get your taxes done. Hopefully that gives you some thought as to how to get it done. Yes. The do's and don'ts. We call this the do's and don'ts in doing your taxes. Don't for 2020. Well, your 2021. Don't write off if you're trying to buy a house in 2022. Don't write off much on your tax returns. Pretty simple.
Or be mindful of where you're doing those write-offs.
Be mindful of where you're doing those write-offs. As Jimmy explained, there are some write-offs that we can write back in if that makes sense. Again, any questions, call me 678-359-3574 or call Jimmy
870-413-0531.
All right. Well, that kind of spins us into we're talking to our home buyers. You don't need 20%. We can get you as low as 3%, most often 3.5%, depending on what your credit score is. For our
I was about to say another thing that they may be using that lump sum that a lot of people are doing at the beginning of the year, because this is probably the top 5 resolution, New Year's resolution that most people have outside of like going to the gym or eating healthy, all that stuff. It's fixing their credit.
Fixing your credit.
Yes.
We need some credit. We need some credit professionals out there. Do we have anybody on schedule?
I think we do. Okay. We do. Koya Stewart. Be on the lookout for Koya Stewart on the show in February. Beginning of February, she's a great credit repair specialist. Work with her a lot. She'll have a lot of good tidbits on how to correctly, like, because I know a lot of people, because we mentioned credit repair and getting a lump sum in your taxes, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, I'm just going to go and pay everything off. Don't do that. Do not do that. Actually, come talk to us first, because we can kind of strategically pinpoint what you need to pay off or what you need to address before you go through the actual home buying process. So don't just think that you're going to pay off a whole bunch of medical collections and that's going to boost your scores, because it's not.
It isn't. We don't care about medical collections. Nope. So hopefully that is helpful to you guys, and yes. You probably have questions, and we are here to answer your questions, so be sure to contact us. For our agents, for our highly respected and touted real estate partners out there.
Yes.
How are you guys feeling? I know there's a lot going on just coming into 2022, wanting to hit the ground and be gun-ho and
yet
be
another
running.
Year of this crazy market.
Another year of this crazy market. Rates have risen. They're not rising.
They have risen.
Grand rising, King.
Matter of fact, we were... we don't want to turn a certain demographic off. So we're not gonna delve too much into the grand rising.
Grand rising, King.
We had a conversation yesterday, I think it was, on quoting rates.
Yes.
As far as like a client that you actually had that, and I have several that I've looked at over the past day since you told me that.
Yeah.
And I guess you can like delve into that a little more about like when you first took his application, where his interest rate was. I mean, he hasn't found a home yet, so now he's going to price a home or price the
yesterday's price is not today's price. These rates are up. That's just a reality.
The price of the brick has gone up.
Yeah, the price has gone up. God damn. But yes, everything has gone up, right? There's inflation going on. There's it's called the CPI, consumer. What is it? Consumer Price Index? Consumer Price
Index.
Yeah. So CPI has gone up. What does that mean, right? Like, because we try to keep it as basic, and I just learned what apropos, and I'm still learning that. I don't even really know what it means. What is the apropos?
It's appropriate. Mean? Like if something is perfectly appropriate for the situation, you say it's apropos.
I'm never apropos.
You're never apropos.
That's the problem. I got to work on my apropos. So, what does rates going up mean for you? Or no, we're still talking to our agents, right? So agents will say rates have gone up. I think
consumers see that in like the gas prices,
all of that,
prices of milk, bread,
all of that. But most importantly, are you as an agent? Are you out here with an outdated pre-approval? Don't be out here with outdated pre-approval.
And we would say, and this speaks to how fast the market is moving. I would say, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you have a pre-approval from like November, it's just January.
If you have a pre-approval from fucking November, New Year's Eve.
Right. So like that is how drastically the market is moving. Like I think we were at, because Georgia Dream is even.
Yeah, Georgia Dream
as of yesterday 3%.
3%.
I think maybe a month ago they were at 2.625, 2.75.
So this is what I'm going to say. If you have a pre-approval from New Year's Eve and your lender has not called you, you should take your client from that lender and give it to me and Jimmy. Apropos in a mug.
If we haven't called you, then just call us back and then
well, if we ain't called you, I mean, you don't hold that against us. Consider this our call. You have been called.
Right. This is our call.
You need to holler at us.
Like at least we're knowledgeable of rates going up.
Right.
Because and that's a good question. I mean, that's a good that's a good, or not a segue, but that's a good point to bring up, because somebody, like if you're razor thin qualifying at a certain point and you were at 3% 2 months ago, I guarantee you're at 3.5-4% now.
Right. So again, what does that mean for your client? These rates have gone up, which is pretty much going to cost your client roughly $100 or so more dollars. Just using that as a number.
Yeah.
So their mortgage might have been $1,700. Their mortgage is now $1,800. They were barely qualifying at the $1,700 mark. Now at $1,800, Jimmy and I have to kind of get creative to offset that $100 increase, because that $100 increase has taken them out of range where they will qualify. Right. We're not saying that they won't qualify. However, we have to look at, all Jimmy and I do is we look at the pieces of the puzzle and we put the puzzle together.
Right.
Okay, we put the puzzle together for a clear to close. The way we had the puzzle put together 2 weeks ago has changed. We need to have this conversation so we can realign the pieces of the puzzle and get it together. We're going to get your client approved. We're going to get your client
because that's what we do
in the house. That's what we do. We apropos out this bitch. That's what we do.
I think that's gonna be the name of the episode. Apropos. I'm gonna have to Google how to spell it.
Never apropos. Never apropos. That's what it is. So we don't want people to get nervous or scared, but it's just something to be mindful of. Now, yes. All of our people who are thinking about refinance, I had to turn a woman away. Refinance. I had to turn her, literally this morning, had to turn her away. She called me like, my rate is 4.5. I want to refi. I want to refi. I was like,
it's still 4.5.
Yeah, like it ain't. So at that
now, and I just want to say, like, just to put it in perspective, because yes, rates are going up, and no, people aren't getting like the low 3s, high 2s that they were getting last year.
Correct. But historically,
like, because as recent as 2017, 2018, rates were in the mid 5s, yes. Close to 6.
Yes.
So, like, can you still get a rate lower than that? Yes, you can.
It costs a little bit of money.
Costs a little bit of money,
but it can happen.
Right. And even for our refinances, if you closed on a home back then, like 4 or 5 years ago, you may have a rate of 5% or higher. So I think it's still worth looking into a refinance.
And also, it's worth looking into a refinance if you are looking to take cash out.
Yes.
Because you may be at 4.5, and you may stay at 4.5, but you stayed at 4.5, and you got $200,000 out to do a whole bunch of other things, right? Yep. So it's not what we want to stress. We speak about this stuff from a broad level, right? Not a specific level, and everybody's situation is different, right? So we want you to use the information that we're sharing with you as somewhat of a guideline, but most importantly, kind of tuck it in the back of your brain. And for whatever your situation is, you need to talk to Jimmy or myself and myself to see what is applicable for you.
Right. And for those agents, I feel like that would be a good touch point, even with people that aren't necessarily buying homes. You've sold homes in the past.
Yes.
Those people that you know for a fact, because while everything is going up, so are home values. So those people that are already in homes, the value of your home is going up exponentially over the past couple of years.
Right.
So for those agents that are looking maybe to start breaking out into the market, you're worried about where inventory is, reach out to some of your previous clients, see how much equity they have. This would be a good chance for them to talk to us to see what it would take to pull some of that equity out, possibly invest in an investment property, second home, Airbnb, Verbo,
right.
Go that route. So I think that would be for the agents out there, that may be a good touch point for them to reach back out to some of their previous clients.
100%, and it just keeps you in front of your client. So all that being said, this is just more information for you guys. We want to continue to bring you guys great content. What is it? Again, hit us up. Send us a DM. Yes. We are on Instagram at WeThemBrothers_. Please go on our Instagram. Follow us on Instagram. Send us DMs. Ask us questions, things that you want to know. We are very responsive to our audience, and there may be some things that we're not even thinking about that you guys are thinking about that is of importance to you, whether you're an agent, whether you're a buyer. We don't talk to other loan officers. It's not apropos.
I think that's good.
It only takes me 6 times for a loan officer. Don't bite our style. Get your own style. You know what I mean? I don't want nobody sounding like me on none of my
Right, exactly, exactly.
But no, that was a Woo reference. So, but yeah. So with that, there's not much more. We have some great episodes coming up.
Yes.
Within the next few weeks, we have some great guests coming on. Stay with us. Get the information that we're spitting out to you guys. And again, any questions that you have, hit us up.